Let me tell you something. This man right here, this man is an absolute unit. Well, look who it is. Back. Welcome back to an Absolute Unit Podcast episode 13, something like that. I think we're either a preteen or a teenager by now. So yeah, welcome back. I want to start this off by saying I think I might, for the next few months, only be doing this bi-weekly, because pretty soon I'm gonna move, and then like right after I move I'm gonna have finals to work on. So, and then I'm going on a state for a little bit, so I'm gonna try to stack up on some of these. So I'm gonna release one every other week, but I might still record them once a week, just to let you guys know. But yeah, we're back in black. Hit the sack. Okay, so somebody recommended me this show, Invincible. It's an Amazon Prime animated show about superheroes. Really good. I'm on episode 6, I want to say, or I just finished episode 6, and I need to sit down and watch the last 2 episodes because I can tell it's gonna go crazy. It's only 8 episodes. If you have Amazon Prime, absolutely watch it. It's been fantastic so far. I was kind of like live tweeting to myself the first 2 episodes. I didn't really do much after that. I probably should have. There were some really good twists and reveals throughout the middle part of the show. I was worried right at first because the episodes are 45 minutes long, and I was worried that every episode was going to feel dragged out, but they do so many different storylines and they balance it all so well that it doesn't feel like 45 minutes every time. Like, I sat down and watched 4 episodes. Hold on, my cat was just trying to stick her head through the blinds because she could like smell another cat nearby. In the house like right next to us, they have their window open and there's a cat sitting on the windowsill. And now my cat has her head pushed up to the window screen because the window's cracked a little bit. Pushed up to the window screen and is just breathing really heavy. So my cat's the middle in age, but the older cat doesn't have claws. So, you know, in reality, Hinata here is the alpha of the house. She gotta protect her territory. So she sees any cat nearby, whether it's in a window like this or an outdoor cat in the neighborhood, she puffs up a lot. Her tail gets huge to look intimidating. It's so funny. She doesn't make a lot of noise. She's a silent cat. But tell you what, when she's trying to seem intimidating, there's some like some low growls. Like, she's a black cat too, all black. We like to call her a little panther a lot. But she pulls out those growls, and I'm like, okay, maybe she's a little panther. She's still not intimidating really, because she doesn't make any noise ever. She's silent, stealthy, but it's so funny to see. But she jumped on a bookshelf that's right next to it that's empty right now because we're starting to pack up because we're gonna be moving within, who knows, we just got accepted at our new place, and so we could get the keys anytime in the next week, and we have to be out of here by beginning of June. So gotta start the process. Start packing up whatever you can. So the bookshelf's empty over there, and my cat just jumped on it and it shook so much. I thought I was gonna turn around and see a bookshelf on the ground. It really did. That's how loud it was, but it just slammed up against the wall, and then she starts shoving her head through the blinds. So she's an animal. She's the best though. Best cat ever. Now she's in a different window, still staring at that cat. Little weirdo. What was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about Invincible. Yeah, I need to set aside the time that I can watch both of the last episodes, so an hour and a half back to back, because I can tell it's gonna be crazy. It's done a really good job of like setting up the finale, that like it's gonna go crazy, and I have no idea. I'm so glad that I didn't get spoiled for anything in this show, really. I didn't see too much about it, which is great, because the end of the first episode has a hook at the end. Hook, line, sinker. Like, I was getting really cool, like, Spider-Man / Sky High vibes from the beginning of the first episode, and then the end happens, and you're like, oh, this is its own thing. This is something unique, something good, something special. So yeah, that's a great show. Once I finish it, next episode after I finish it, I'll probably do a section in the podcast, just do like one big chunk that's me talking about the whole show, because it's really good. Speaking of, cartoon superheroes and stuff like that, I was thinking about what my go-to superpower is, and that's a really tough question, because I was like, how big can you go when somebody's like, oh, what superpower would you have? Like, do you go straight to, matter manipulation, just altering things on a subatomic level? Is that what you go straight to? That's some evil genius stuff. You could also tell a lot about a person by what their answer to that is. People who say invisibility are not to be trusted. I don't care. I don't care what the reason is. Don't trust them. It's just like it's too much. Imagine the little things they could do, especially like in today's current climate. Like they just walk into a store and just start, just messing things up. A lot of safety measures in place at the moment, and they just start ripping them down, pushing them over. Like that could be a thing. Or the little things that like kind of grown accustomed to since the beginning of the pandemic. Like I have a pack of disposable masks in my car. Imagine if somebody broke into your car completely invisible and just stole every mask out of there. And then you go somewhere, you drive there, take 10 minutes out of your day to drive. And then you get there and you're like, fuck, I don't have a mask. So you have to drive 10 minutes back, just wasting time. Like it's the little things like that that like the wrong person with invisibility could just ruin everybody's day. It's a lot of cool superpowers in Invincible too. Kind of like, so Invincible is like there are superheroes all over the place, and it's kind of just a thing. Like some people get powers, some people don't. It's kind of like a My Hero situation, but way less people have the powers or quirks in that case. Because in that show, I think they say like in My Hero, 10% of people don't have powers, and in Invincible, it kind of seems the opposite. It's like very limited in who has powers. So last week I didn't record an episode because I was busy with some stuff, but it was mostly just because I didn't feel like I had enough to talk about. Like it would just be one of those episodes where I'm stumbling through it. At least from my perspective, that's how some of those episodes feel. I don't know if that comes across. I hope I can still be entertaining in some way, not wasting 30 minutes of your time. But I was really close to just throwing in the towel and just turning on like an auto-tune filter for the whole episode, and not addressing it at all. But like that would be really obnoxious. It would be super obnoxious if I just like was auto-tuned for 25 minutes and just didn't address it, just talk. Because I wouldn't know. I just turn on the filter and then talk. Like nothing happens. Like I'm wearing headphones right now, basically for no reason. Just like I can't hear myself. I don't hear what's coming back through the microphone at like a delay, because that messes you up. You ever tried to talk like into a microphone and you can hear yourself through like a really slight delay, like 0.1 or 0.0 something seconds? It freezes you up. There's an app called Speech Jammer, or at least there was, if you want to try it out. But it's like that's the hardest part of being like a news anchor in some of those situations where they have the earpiece. They can hear themselves in a slight delay, and they just have to block it out, ignore it, and it's so tough. You think you can do it until you try it. Yeah, Speech Jammer. Oh man. So I just had to take my car in for a recall repair, a new recall on a 1998 model year car. Car's only been out for 23 years. It's easy to miss a few things, I guess. But the only time I could schedule it was like midday. My girlfriend was at work. One of my roommates was at work too. So I planned on just dropping it off and then taking the bus back home, because public transportation is free here. And there's also a bus app, so you can see exactly which buses go where and what times they're gonna be there. So I drop off my car, I think at 10 a.m. and I check the app, and it says that the bus that would take me to my house isn't gonna be at that bus stop until 10:35. I was like, no shot. So pull up the Uber app. No drivers nearby. Cool, great. Looks like I'm putting on the Lamborghinis and I'm freaking hoofing it all the way home, because I live in a small town. Waiting 35 minutes for the bus. I think I walked home in 35 minutes, honestly. And it was, dude, I hate weather. It's the worst thing ever. Because I'm walking back home and I'm wearing a hoodie, because it's like no sun out, really cloudy, there's a little bit of wind. It feels good. Like it's perfect walking weather with a hoodie on. I am 10 minutes from my house. I'm in the last stretch, the home stretch, and the sun comes out, wind goes away, and in 8 seconds I start sweating. Holy crap. But I'm such a stubborn little dingleberry that I just didn't take off my hoodie. I was wearing a long sleeve under it, so I was like, so I'm still gonna be hot either way, even though I'm wearing a black hoodie and like that light gray long sleeve under it. Idiot, smooth brain, no wrinkles on my head. I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, so I get home and I'm like, disgusting. Like I have to take a shower right when I get home. And they said my car was gonna be done like sometime in the afternoon. They never called me. I waited until 6. I was like, I should probably make sure that they're still open. They're open till 7, and then I'm texting my girlfriend about it. And this is how you know she's kind of like the mom friend, is I'm texting her about it, and she was like, you should probably just call them. And I think she was on her drive home, so she just called them. She called them at the same time I was trying to call them, so I couldn't talk to them. But then she gets off the phone with them. I got through to like a message system, and I was like, I'm not leaving a message. I'll just call back in like 5 minutes. So I just hung up. But she gets done talking to them and then texts me all the information that I needed. Perfect. I love it. It's the best thing ever. I love that woman. She's like, oh yeah, they said it's ready, and or they said it should be ready. That's what she said. So it wasn't 100%. Should be ready, and they'll stay open as late as they need until you come get it. And I was like, oh, cool. So I figure I didn't want to walk all the way back, especially because it was like warmer outside now. So I was just gonna ride my skateboard all the way there. And dude, I forget how riding a skateboard hits very different muscles than you do on a day-to-day basis from just walking and stuff. So I ride the skateboard all the way down, and the next day, like the top of my calf and my foot and like a part of my shin on my left leg, which is the leg I used to push off because I'm goofy footed, was just, oh god, it's so sore. Also, while I was riding, I'm like riding in the bike lane most of the time, just because the sidewalk has so much aggregate on it that it's hard to like keep momentum. You just slow down so quick because you have to push so much more. But the asphalt on the street where the bike lane is like really smooth, so it's a lot easier to skate in. So I'm like next to a church, and you know, this car is passing by me, all its windows down, and they try to jump scare me. Like somebody goes, ah, right, like screamed really loud at me as I'm riding by, which, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Get a life, honestly. Like, I couldn't imagine doing that to somebody I didn't know. There's a stranger on the sidewalk. Like, a friend, maybe, if they could tell that it was me. Like, if there was some interaction beforehand. But, like, even if it's one of my friends, I'm not gonna do that. Because, like, what if they mess up, fall off the skateboard, and they're laying half in the middle of the road? Like, not doing that. Or even they just mess up a little bit, and it's not that tragic, you know? There's still no reason to do it. So, you know me. I like to dangle the middle finger sometimes. That's what I did. Just kept going. Didn't even look back. Just dangled the middle finger out at them. Because they're idiot kids. I don't think they're going to swing around and, you know, commit manslaughter, hit me with the car. Is that manslaughter? I don't know. Vehicular manslaughter? Something like that. And if they get out of the car, I got a skateboard. Forehead dents. Let's go, buddy. Yeah. It pissed me off so much because I'm like way out of practice. I used to ride around a lot. Like, I didn't like going to skate parks, so I don't do any like cool tricks on my skateboard. I probably should look into getting a longboard if I'm doing just distance like that, but you know, who knows. But dude, I was so out of practice. I could tell. I could feel it. Oh my god. I forgot how to Aldi. God damn it. It took me so long to learn that, and now I just can't do it again. I was pissed. Oh, also while I was riding down that road, I got an update on a previous story. So I told you guys back, I can't remember if it was like February 1st or March 1st, but I'm recording this around the beginning of May. So there were two houses really close to each other that March 1st, I want to say, still had their Christmas lights up. And I was like, now it's a battle of attrition to see they're either both keeping them up all year or they're both taking them down. One's just waiting for the other to take it down so that like they feel the need to, so they're not the only house in the city with Christmas lights still on it. I really haven't seen another one. So as of the beginning of May, one house has taken theirs down and the other one is still up. I don't know exactly when that first house took it down, but they tell you that the other one is still up. Therefore, I have been proven wrong. Until further notice, I've been proven wrong. Why would you leave the Christmas lights up? I don't get it. I know some people have like Christmas light systems that they leave them up and they're like just not on. These people's lights are on every night, like white and red. Very obviously Christmas. Why red? I feel like there's a third color, but I can't think of it at the moment. Promise I'm not colorblind. I don't have that many physical drawbacks. I've got enough. My classes are going. I'm a computer science major, but this term I'm just finishing up my 2-year degree, so I'm not taking any computer science classes at the moment, and it's been rough, dude. Like, I just have no motivation to do these other two classes. Like, I don't want to take biology and writing. Like, I get that I need to be a well-rounded individual, but a lot of the stuff that I'm learning in biology is like refresher of a freshman year biology class I took in high school. Like, and this is 102, like not even 101. 101 I learned way more, but like in freshman year of high school I took cellular biology, and that's basically what I'm taking right now, or molecular, I don't know what they call it. Yeah, I'm learning the same stuff, so it's just it's rough. But because I need that refresher, because it's been 6 years, Jesus Christ, since it's been 6 years, I'm like still needing to watch the lectures and watch the videos on labs. Most time I watch them on 2x speed, and oh dude, my professor scared the life out of me the other day because I'm listening to it at 2x speed and I'm like looking at the assignment, trying to, you know, see what I can fill out, see what I can fill in from what, you know, he's saying. And then out of nowhere, he's doing, so it was for a lab project, so he needed to wait a certain amount of time for some leaf discs to get oxygenated. And while he's waiting, he pulls out a harmonica and starts playing, but I'm just listening and I'm watching, or I'm staring at a Word document, which is on half of my screen. I'm not even looking at the lecture, so I just hear like fast, loud harmonica out of nowhere, and I jump physically jump and I look around, like, what? Who's in my house? Who's in my room with a harmonica? Then I look over and he's off screen. I had no warning. Like, if I could see him pull out a harmonica, like out of the corner of my eye, maybe I wouldn't have been that scared. But he's off screen. I just see like 4 containers with water in them. And then harmonica, fast and loud, out of nowhere. Jesus Christ, scared the life out of me. The other worst part about watching lectures at 2 times speed is my writing professor sounds like Ben Shapiro at 2 times speed. You know what I mean? You know how he like talks way too fast and like the pauses are like very abrupt but short? That's what normal people sound like at 2 times speed. But Ben Shapiro is a freak of nature. So, you know, whatever. I don't want to talk about that guy ever again. So let's move on. Change the subject. Oh, kind of on the same note as biology. I have a theory that science is halting evolution. On God, all facts, no cap. Science halts evolution. And I was thinking of this because of teeth. Like, I don't know exactly what prompted this. I think it was just, it's because I went to the dentist recently. And I was like, cavemen and people for thousands of years did not go to the dentist. So what am I doing? And if you look up caveman skull, a lot of them still have teeth. And the teeth don't look that bad, you know? Other than the fact that they look like the rest of the skull. But like, they don't look too bad. I feel like we brushed them too much, you know? I feel like we would have just evolved past cavities if they were that bad, you know? But you know, science had to come along and halt cavities. And then I gotta look this up. My girlfriend like is a dentist assistant and I don't know anything about teeth. Do animals get cavities? Most animals don't get cavities because their diets are high in sugar. Okay, that's why we get cavities. Okay. Sugar is the reason we get cavities, huh? Because I was trying to think, like, if there was a diet you put a baby on from birth, like, is it paleo? Paleo is the one where you eat like a caveman. Yep, caveman diet. The diet includes lean meats, fish, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Yeah, since all of these either don't have sugar or like fruit has natural sugars in it, if a baby like from day they stop needing milk, you know what I mean? Because we are mammals. The day they stop needing that, you just put them on paleo. Do they not get cavities ever? Like if a kid eats no sugar except the sugar that's in fruit for his whole life, they just not get cavities. Like even if they don't brush their teeth. I thought part of it was the like whatever GMO they do to foods and like pesticides that is added, because you do eat that stuff. I thought that was part of it that like caused the decay. But sugar also makes sense because they tell you not to, you know, eat or drink too much sugary stuff. That makes sense. Like no wild animals like worried about their teeth. They just use them. I wonder what about like insects that like drink pollen? I looked up what animal consumes the most sugar and I'm not getting a straight answer. All right, whatever. Just gonna look up animal that eats the most sugar and see if the animal has ever had a cavity before, or are their teeth just built different because of that sugar intake, that constant sugar intake. But like right now, if I switch to paleo for the rest of my life, would I not really have to worry about cavities? Like if I stay away from sugar and I only eat, you know, caveman stuff, am I good? You know, maybe I sound really dumb. Somebody more intelligent or even okay, I shouldn't say or even, because that makes it seem like I don't think my girlfriend's smart. My girlfriend could tell me, you know, the reason, because she learned this stuff. I think my girlfriend's way smarter than me, if I'm being honest. Some people say that computer science is a hard major. I'm just good at math, all right? I'm just good at math and logic. My girlfriend's smarter in every other category, I want to say, except memory. She got a bad memory, goldfish memory, and you know, I got a lot of wrinkles up here, so memory's great. Memory's fantastic. Other than that, yeah, she's got me beat. Like I could do really well on a lot of those things. I don't know if you guys have heard of the human benchmark test. I could do really well on a lot of those things, but I feel like that's not like a great indication of intelligence. Intelligence is a really hard thing to define because you have to, you know, look at, what is it? IQ, intelligence quotient, right? And EQ, emotional quotient. You have to like consider both of that. There's so many different aspects of life that you can be considered smart or not, intelligent or not in, that like defining it is very difficult. And like you also account for speed of thought, or is like speed not a factor? Like if, you know, with like people mastering instruments, good one to put it. I feel like that takes a lot of brain power and intelligence. But like somebody who's kind of like a savant who masters the piano or the violin at a very young age, like 15 or earlier, but like for whatever reason they can't do some other, like they don't excel in STEM areas, or you know, maybe they don't have the highest emotional intelligence. Is that, you know, because of that one skill set, does that make them more intelligent than somebody who takes maybe 30 years, 20 years to truly feel like they mastered an instrument, but you know, that person who took time to develop also is like very, very well rounded, very well traveled. Does that, you know, does being culturally aware, you know, play into intelligence? It's really hard to say, isn't it? It's really interesting though. If I wasn't in computer science, I would want to do something with the brain. I think the brain is the most interesting thing on this planet, honestly. It's the only thing that's ever named itself is the human brain. Yeah, put that in your cereal and slurp it up. Yeah, I feel like that's why I'm interested in artificial intelligence. I had to do my freshman year, I took a public speaking class, worst class I've ever taken in my life. Hated it, hated every second of it. But the first speech I had to give was on like my dream job. And I said my dream job was just getting paid to research and like try to build a computer that works exactly like 100% like a human brain, you know, build some kind of AI that worked at the exact same. I think that would be the most fun I could have, like researching the brain and like figuring out how that works, and then like converting that to a language readable by a robot. I think that would be a blast. I think that still is my dream job. You know, it's hard to do. I don't know how I'll do that. I don't know what steps I need to get to that point. And there's a chance that it's done before I even get to that point, you know? That could happen in the next 5 years or less, you know? I feel like I've been talking about serious stuff for a little too long in this episode. So let's transition to, you know, everyone's favorite part of the podcast, where I complain about my job. This isn't even complaining about my job. This is just a crazy story from a recent shift that I had. Okay, so you know, I work at a hardware store. I work in the garden section. So I'm walking through the greenhouse, and in the greenhouse is also where the bird food is. And that's important because birds live in there, you know. That's where the bird food is. Fattest birds I've ever seen live in this greenhouse. Because they just eat all day. They eat, they swoop down, eat, and then fly, like 7 feet up back to the rafters where they've got nests. So this past weekend I'm working, and this little girl comes up to me, and she's like, you know, I mean, terrible at guessing ages of kids, because like this girl could have been 9 or 3. I wouldn't have been able to tell. So she's somewhere in that age range of between 9 and 3, because she's walking and talking, but she's not anywhere near a person. She comes up to me and she's like, there are birds in there, like kind of concerned and distressed for the birds. And I'm like, oh yeah, they live in there. Like that's where all the food is. They're chilling. I was like, if you lived in a grocery store and you didn't have to pay for food, you know, that's what they're doing. So I say that not even 2 hours later, I'm walking through the greenhouse, and on this gray stand where we have just like some extra merchandise out, there is a dead bird just laying on top in plain view. And I'm walking through there with my supervisor, and I just stop. I like dead stop. He keeps walking. He turns around. He's like, "What?" And he's like, I was like, do you see that? And I'm like pointing at it, and he just full mouth gasp and is like, oh, what? I'm like, what do we do? What do we do? Like, dude, and I immediately thought of the little girl. I was like, I said, oh yeah, they're fine. That's where they live. Like 2 hours before this. I couldn't look that little girl in the eye again. I couldn't do it. She showed up again, and she was like, did you do anything about the birds? I'd crumble. I probably wouldn't answer. She's a kid. You know, she'll forget this. Hopefully this isn't a sticking memory. Memory. Jesus. Remembery. Do you remember that time? Oh my God. But yeah, I don't know what. I didn't know what to do. Like, do I just grab it with my bare hands and put it in a trash can? Like, what do I do with a dead bird in the middle of a retail store? I don't know what the protocol is. My supervisor didn't either. We left it. I've been off since that day. It's been 3 days. I wouldn't be shocked if that bird was still dead in the greenhouse somewhere. Like, people at my work already are like, nah, it's not my job. About stuff that is their job, no way they're taking care of a dead bird. Holy, I hate my company. I hate, well, it's actually getting a lot better. We have just new people, and then like the rest are people I either really like or can easily avoid. It's a good way to put it. I don't like them, but I can easily avoid them. So it doesn't even matter. Oh man. So I just got a tattoo. I got a tattoo on the front of my leg, and you know, I love tattoos, but leg tattoos are the worst. I don't know why I keep getting them. I hate them. I hate getting them. I feel like my legs are way more sensitive to the needles, so it hurts. And then I have to, then the tattoo artist has to shave my leg. Shaves off like half a fur coat, basically. My legs are so hairy. And then, as it's healing and it's dry and peeling, I also have to deal with little stubby leg hair that's super itchy. You can't scratch new tattoos. And it's just oh my God, it's awful, dude. It's so bad. I hate it. I'm dealing with it right now. It's full peel mode at the moment, so it's really rough. It's really, really rough. I also thought, oh man, I thought my generation, this younger Gen Z generation, would finally end all the bad tattoos that we've been seeing for the past 20 years, but we're not. either we're not, or I'm just seeing people who are older and look younger. Because dude, we all know the bad tattoos. I'm really sorry if this applies to anybody out there, but tribal tattoos, awful. Tribal bands. You have a barbed wire band around your arm. Sorry, but it's bad. I don't care how cool it looks, it's bad. It's a bad tattoo. And the peak bad tattoo, worst of the worst, is any white dude who has just like Asian characters tattooed on them. I don't care if you know what they mean. I honestly don't care if you speak the language. It looks awful. It looks bad. Sorry. It looks so tacky and just terrible. It's the worst. And it's rough too, because I really want to get a Japanese style tattoo. So there's a kind of a traditional Japanese art style called, I need to make sure I pronounce this right, ukiyo-e, UKIYO-E, ukiyo-e. And if you've ever seen like traditional wood blocks or anything like that, that's the style. That's what it's called. And I love that. I've got one hanging above my desk right now. I've got a calendar of them, and I would love to get a full sleeve that looks like a wood block. Like, I don't want neo-traditional, like super fancy look, because I just love that art style so much. But a decent bit of them have, Asian characters. I don't know why I'm saying Asian. Have Japanese characters on them, either with like a title or, describing part of the piece, whatever it is. But I hate Asian character tattoos so much that's gonna have to go. That can't be in there. It sucks. Or they'll have it on like street signs and stuff like that. It's be on like somebody's clothes. I just can't do it. I just can't have it. Like, that's how much I hate it. It's like, I want something traditional that usually has it in it, and I just won't. I just can't. What are some other bad tattoos? I mean, there's a lot of them. A lot of different kinds of bad tattoos. I don't like blackout. I think that's weird. I don't know if I've talked about that before. But like, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Where usually a lighter pigmented skin person will just get full, like, colored in black tattooed, like on their arms or legs. I think that looks awful. Like, right at first, I was like, oh, that's kind of sick. But now I'm like, it's kind of a waste, Tattoos are meant to be like you putting art on your body. At least that's how I look at them. It's like, this is an art piece, and I want to have it with me forever, because it either means something or I just love how it looks that much. Like, all black doesn't make sense to me. I think I'm gonna wrap up the episode here before I rant too much about tattoos and get on people's bad side. It'll happen to the best of us. So thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking with me. I love you. I really do. I appreciate you. I really do. Make sure you tell somebody you love them today. I say a lot, but when you know. But yeah, I love you guys. I'll see you guys later. Let me tell you something. This man right here, this man is an absolute unit.